Charlie, thank you. And the start of summer also means the start of hurricane season in the U.S. While Wisconsin won't have to worry about these types of storms, many people in the southern United States will. So meteorologist Delaney Bowles has more on how many hurricanes the country can expect to see this year.
Well, today is the first day of the 2026 hurricane season, and the numbers are in. The National Hurricane Center has released its forecast, and they anticipate a below-average season for the Atlantic Basin. 8 to 14 named storms are anticipated, 3 to 6 of those being hurricanes, and 1 to 3 being major hurricanes, meaning a Category 3 or higher. Though a below-average season is forecasted, all it takes is one storm to make it a memorable one, and you can see how this year's forecast compares to the average as well as what we saw last year for the 2025 season. Now, the below average season is primarily due to El Nino. El Nino creates warmer than average sea surface temperatures in the equatorial Pacific, which increases the upper level vertical wind shear across the Atlantic. This increased shear essentially acts like a blender, disrupting the formation and strengthening of tropical waves and therefore cuts down on the hurricanes. Here are the names for the 2026 hurricane season. These names are recycled every 6 years, so some may be familiar, though hurricanes that cause enough devastation will be retired, such as Hurricane Melissa that impacted Jamaica in the Caribbean just last year. A friendly reminder that hurricane season runs from June 1st to November 30th, peaking on September 10th, so the most activity usually happens from mid to late August through September and into early October.